Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the latest expansion-packed episode of the Switch It Up show. I am your host today, Seth Trav, joined as always by my friend Glenn.
How are you doing this evening, Mr. Trav? I got it right this time. Didn't say morning or afternoon, evening. It is in fact dark outside.
That's right. It is firmly the evening right now as we record this episode. In fact, it is so dark that it looks like the Void, and interestingly enough, that's the name of the game I review today, called Void Terrarium ++. But before we dive into that, ladies and gentlemen, we gotta let these sweet, sweet beats ride. Tamagachi, ladies and gentlemen, they provide us with the Tusset tones from far, far away for all of the Switch It Up shows. Be sure to go back and check out our catalog of over 300 reviewed games, because there's a ton. First review that we're doing today is Void Terrarium, parentheses, close parentheses, semicolon, // Void Terrarium ++. You may have seen that on one of the stores somewhere and thought, wow, this thing, it's got to be something weird. And as it turns out, it is just Void Terrarium ++, if you didn't see the end of that. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, Void Terrarium is a rogue-like adventure set in a post-apocalyptic world where humans have supposedly gone extinct. The player takes control of a scrap janitorial robot on his journey to explore the desolate wasteland in search of food, medicine, and crafting supplies in order to keep a defenseless human girl alive, confront wasteland creatures and rogue robots in procedurally generated levels where no two expeditions are alike. The fate of mankind rests in your hands. It came out all the way back on 7/14/2020. It's from our good friends over at NIS America, and it is rated T for teen. Ladies and gentlemen, this game, first and foremost, and the best way I can describe it, is like Tamagachi. It is a new age Tamagotchi that you can play on your Nintendo Switch, your PS4, or your PS5, where I played it. It is, at first, a very interesting game, and it seems like it's going to be a lot of emotion and a lot of heartfelt sort of nonsense. And it is at first, and I was very surprised how touched I felt by it, because it's this robot dog-like creature that doesn't say anything and just tries to care for this little last known human girl after you're being led by this funny robot. And it is silly, and it's interesting, and it's cool to get the storyline bits, but it starts getting terrible when you have to start actually going through these roguelike dungeons. The best way I can describe it is like one of these Digimon games I played back on the PS1. It is like you run down hallways and you'll find some enemies, and at times you can't fight them if you go into a certain room. You're supposed to run away, but you can't really run away. You're supposed to be able to pick up items and maybe find ways to escape. A lot of times I couldn't find any of them. It is very, very annoying the way you will go like 5 floors down. The item you need is on the 6th floor, and you just keep running into random monster dens, and because that's what they call them. And it's just a room full of these things that you are not going to be able to escape or beat because your paths get blocked and you don't have the moves to change anything. It's too early in the game for you to have the moves you need to be able to get through it. The only reason I kept playing it was because I wanted to be able to give it more of a review, but it got very, very, very drudgerous. I feel so sad that it turned out the way it did, because it was starting out to be a great little experience. It's just that the gameplay, I feel like it goes all the way back to PS1, and it could have been done so much better. It's that pseudo half turn-based combat system. There are weird little tricks to it that don't really, I don't know, they don't pan out for me. And because of that, ladies and gentlemen, I got to give this game a 2 out of 5.
Ooh, it's a shockingly low score for you, Mr. Setrav, not to mention one from our good friends over at NIS America.
That's what I said, my guy. When I was playing this, and I believe you can hear it on the video, and you will be able to see a clip of it in the show notes down below, I was very shocked. I feel like this is probably the worst game I have played by them.
Yeah.
And we've played remakes of games that were legit platformers on like PS1.
Yeah.
And those play better, even though they're frustrating because you can't move and jump at the same time. It was heartbreaking a little bit because, like I said, it started out so heartfelt, but it dropped it on the gameplay.
Well, like you said, that pseudo like turn-based like style, like I feel like that's hard to like nail down. I feel like it's either very hit or extreme miss.
Way miss, and this was a far swing and miss, which is a shame. Like if it was just more of a Tamagachi, and like if I just checked in every day on this character, I would have given it a much higher score. But because you have to actually play and go through these awful dungeons, it's not fun.
Not fun, my man. Well, you know what? Let's go ahead and swing and knock it out of the park with my review, and that's going to be for Sunblaze. I played this game on Steam on the PC, although it is available on the Nintendo Switch as well. And again, the Switch eShop just batting 1,000 over here with the price point, keeping it at $14.99 regardless of the platform. Love that, hate that. There used to be that little bit of a Switch tax going on, not so much with Sunblaze. When you purchase it on the eShop, you do get 75 gold coins. Now let's go ahead and I'll give you a little bit of the synopsis. Sit down, ladies and gentlemen, this is a long one. Lead Josie into her retired superhero's dad's training simulator. But beware, the training room might go rogue and keep you inside. Sunblaze is a brain-twisting precision platformer with hundreds of challenging handcrafted levels to keep you dying for hours and hours. Whose blood is that on the wall, says Josie. Josie is up for a challenge. Her dad, a retired superhero, has fixed his superhero training simulator and lets Josie go in there to play around a bit. After all, show us a parent who wouldn't want to train their daughter to be a superhero. But then suddenly, the training room goes rogue, and Josie is up for a challenge. In this tough handcrafted precision platformer, you'll play as Josie, aka Sunblaze, with a mission to go compete your superhero training. The training room is full of puzzles, brain-tickling challenges, obstacles, TNT, spikes, drones, and a perfect sidekick, the cat. You've got a cat, what else do you need? Well, skills, that's what you need. The ever-changing training room keeps on bringing you challenge after challenge, and you'll stay glued up on your controller for hours. But being a parent is hard, but most likely not this hard. Okay, all parents who have not lost their kids in a mall or a crowd ever, raise your hands. It's all good, at least you didn't lose them in a hostile superhero simulator full of lasers, evil bots, spikes, and well, go see for yourself. There is a warning here, ladies and gentlemen, playing Sunblaze may cause massive brain growth. You know, to survive the levels, your brain needs to do some work. We know it might sound scary, but like Aristotle said, it is during our darkest moments that we must focus to see the light. And Quentin Tarantino put it even better, violence is one of the most fun things to watch. Oh, are you still reading? Go and get playing right now. We promise you one thing, dying over 5,000 times on one game has never felt this good. P.S. Dying is 100% optional. The already easy controls and gameplay can be customized with accessibility features to meet your own needs and wants. This game came out on June the 3rd on the eShop, and it is for one player, a platformer, action, arcade, puzzle game. This game is awesome, Setrav, awesome, so much fun. They kind of just tell you exactly what it is. You are Josie, your dad is a retired superhero, you get locked in this training simulator, and it's just one after another of all these crazy levels with all these different obstacles and traps and things that you have to avoid. And the game does a great job at kind of ramping up the difficulty as you go through just go through it. There is a death counter that's kind of up in the corner that just keeps track of how many times you die, as well as a time clock, but there is no there's no keeping track here. There's no score. It's just like, you're getting through the level and going from kind of point A to point B, trying not to die too many times. There's no penalty if you die one time or you die 1,000 times. It doesn't matter. It's all about trying to like get the rhythm down, learn like the best way to platform and deal with the obstacles that are ahead of you. Kind of think of it as like maybe Ninja Gaiden, but not as like soul crushing. It keeps you wanting to go back and back. And I mean, I love the graphic style to this. Very like, 16-bit Super Nintendo, super bright and colorful. Josie is really funny, very likable character, and there's all types of different like wall jumps that you have to do. You've got this like mid-air kind of like dash that Josie can do as she shoots across from one level to another, and you can't really repeat moves like back to back. So you really have to kind of think about how she can move. Are there any like footholds that you can grab in the walls as you're wall jumping from one end to another? Can you use that mid-air dash after you jump and like kind of transition from a foothold to mid-air? Can you dash across? Like, are there boxes over there that are going to explode? Is there a spike? Are the handles that I'm grabbing are they like load bearing? Because sometimes when you grab on some of these pipes as you're like, monkey barring your way across the level, they only kind of hold you for a few moments and then they just give way entirely. And you kind of learn that as you go through the level and try it. But as soon as you die, you respawn immediately and you're right back there, and you go again and you go again and you go again and you go again until you get it. And this is definitely one of those games where you're like, I was so close. Let me just try it one more time. Let me try it one more time. And I love that because it's just the right balance of being difficult, but it ramps you up. It doesn't just throw you into this like craziness and expect you to know everything. As you're going through and you're playing the game, it's unveiling these different moves that Josie has to help you best deal with the obstacles that are in front of you. So by the time you do get to some of the more difficult levels, you're prepared, your brain is kind of trained a little bit, and you have an idea of what to do. Kind of like when you're playing a Zelda game and you have to try to navigate your way through the temples, and you're like trying to think like, all right, like maybe if I use the hook shot over here and I position myself around these rocks, like it's all about kind of understanding the environment and assessing like, the equipment and the moveset that you have in order to best deal with it. And because you can just play it right away again as soon as you die, there's no pressure there. It's like it's super relaxing, even though it does require you to be kind of like on point. There's not like a big margin for error when it comes to dealing with these things. If you make a mistake, it's over. Play again, and you just keep going. I love this game. This game's awesome. It's so much fun. It looks great. The controls are on point. It's fun. It's $14.99 on the eShop. I feel like they did a great job with it, and I'm not trying to take away from them, at all. And there are a ton of levels here. It's definitely worth $14.99 for sure. I would not feel bad about buying it at this price at all. I'm just kind of surprised that it's $14.99 because I feel like there are other like platformers that are similar to this, but I gotta say, like, I feel like the argument would be like, but they're not this game and they're not as fun. And I'd be like, that's fair. You're right. Sunblaze is great. As we record this episode, it is Wednesday, the 23rd. I bring that up because the Steam shop.
What month and year?
What month of year, in case you're listening to this. It is June. I'm like, what day is it? What month is it? What year is it? It's June 23rd. The Steam sale goes live for this, not necessarily for this game, but the Steam sale, as I played this on Steam, it starts on the 24th of June and runs sometime until the first week in July. So it's my understanding that a ton of games go on sale. So it might be possible that you might be able to catch Sunblaze on sale. And who knows, maybe it'll go on sale on the eShop around the same time. I don't know. But if you're interested in Sunblaze, keep an eye on it, add it to your wish list, or just straight out buy it. I'm going to give this game a 4.5 out of 5. Very, very good.
High praise,
so
my
good, bro.
guy. High praise. That's good that we had something to balance out the odd, awkward play styles of the first title we reviewed, and the great gameplay available on the Steam machine that you reviewed.
Yes, sir.
That's the way we roll here at the Switch It Up Show, ladies and gentlemen. Got a little of this and a little of that. just like the Grand Poobah said. Just like we say, you can find us over on Twitter, at SethTrev. He's at From the Crib. Together, we're at Switch It Up Show. And all around, at PreachCast, on the Preach Network, / YouTube TV, and Twitch as well. Be sure to check us out there. And ladies and gentlemen, I have got to remind you, as always, that if any of this got boring, you could always switch it up.